We do get the flash out of the Lulu, but Zeri's actually going to go down to the snipe from the Ezreal. Didn't react, didn't flash, didn't heal. No shield from the Karma. And that is just a cheeky little kill there. Gragas is being up way too far. Uses Z onto the Mundo. Meanwhile, we do have the engagement happening onto the Urgot. Urgot does use his R and does actually get it connect onto him. And that will be the death for the Gragas. Meanwhile, Urgot does try to go in onto the Graves. But the Graves, you know, does do a lot of damage. He has a serrated Dirk. So that will be a pretty nice kill onto him. Graves skyrocketing ahead with that one. Shadow, why are you hard stuck silver? Well, maybe it's because you're just as boomer as I am, but you're physically a boomer, not just to this game. That might be it, I don't know. But hey, don't feel bad. Rick Fox is still Iron 3. Ooh, miscan. Damn, Gragas, if Gragas had his ulti there, Mundo just dies, I think. Overall, pretty nice so far. You know, got a bit of trading happening for the red side, and they're actually ahead in gold by 600. I didn't even realize that. This is what I feared. That if they start to pull ahead, then blue side, it just feels really bad for them. The fact that they got the Ocean Dragon is probably a good thing. It'll definitely mitigate it. We do have a Mountain Soul or a Mountain Dragon coming up, so another way to mitigate some of the damage. You probably would have preferred that to be the Soul, so you actually had something to go against the poke comp, because now you're probably looking at either an Infernal or a Hex Dragon. Mundo going in with his ultimate onto the Gragas actually using his flash. Gragas using his ultimate and uses it in the wrong direction. Mundo does actually end up flashing, but then we have a fight happening onto the mid lane. They are looking to go in onto this, and they do take down Vaby in the mid lane. After two fights happening both top and mid of 3 champions, we only have 1 champion going down in the mid lane. But in total, 5 flashes going down for 6 champions. Urgot what goes. Shush. Something that I actually like from Lulus that do this is when they actually go with the relic shield, because it'll help accelerate both their gold and the Ezreal's, without having to use up the idea of him stepping too far to get poke off. Nice bit of damage from Ezreal onto the Karma. "12 minutes in, it's a pretty even game state, and only 6 kills. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, it's so good. You know, Gragas has had a hard time up here, but he's keeping alive so far. It's going good. And he's almost got his tier fully stacked up as well. So after he finishes his probably Sunfire Cape, he'll be able to pick that up soon after the fact as well. So he's going to be a very beefy boy. Ezreal actually going straight in, using his E forward onto the Zeri. Zeri using her ultimate to go in. Meanwhile, we're going top lane. Why? We have fights happening in the bottom lane. Ezreal using his ultimate onto both of them, clipping both, and does still get the cannon. Meanwhile, Mundo on the top side actually goes onto Gragas. Gragas doesn't have his flash, but will be able to get his ultimate off. Meanwhile, Ezreal doesn't have a way to get out, so he's just going forward in onto Zeri. Zeri does end up going down to the Ezreal. Meanwhile, now they're trying to charge in. Ezreal end up using his heal. They do finish off the Urgot before the ultimate comes through, and that will be another kill for Ezreal, getting 2 for none, or 2 for 1. I apologize. It still said 1 because I didn't update that. This is game 1. This is the first game. I didn't do my due diligence. That is my B. I'm just trying to bring to light all the teams that didn't get their shots in the regular season, because I didn't cast that much this season, so I picked it up for the last like 2 weeks of the regular season for Noxian and Piltover, and for the playoffs for the top 2 divisions. Yeah, I'm not going to be casting that one. I actually am going to a concert tomorrow, so I will not be casting that. But now, we got another fight happening with the Mundo going in onto the Gragas. Gragas is actually keeping it pretty healthy thanks to his W. Does actually go on to the Mundo. Mundo does get his passive hit up by the Gragas. Gragas, however, doesn't really do a lot. Meanwhile, the Sunfire Cape is keeping a lot of damage onto the Gragas. And that will be another dragon for the blue side. So they need to keep up this momentum for blue side. They need to get to that Hex Soul as soon as possible, because if they can actually get that, that mitigates a lot of the advantage that red side would have as a poke comp. I do not want to have to deal with a Hex Soul four Hex Soul champion. Gragas, you should probably just use your R. Ah, he got the damage! Alright, that'll be a kill off onto the Mundo, kind of just running it. I think he didn't realize what was happening until it was too late, and then he's like, well, I am dead. It's just what he does. Meanwhile, Urgot is actually coming in bottom lane. Nice placement of the ward just in time for them to avoid the gank. Urgot should actually immediately just go back again for it just to see what happens, but that's either here nor there now. I do like that it's a very even game though. Like the gold is only 1,000, like about 1,500 apart. But that's primarily in this bottom lane for the Ezreal. He is just so far ahead of the Zeri. Meanwhile, everybody else is just like a ruby crystal ahead. Meanwhile, we have it engaged with the Diana going in onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa using her ultimate. Urgot using his but misses. Diana goes and charges forward and actually gets blown up. Meanwhile, we have another engage happening onto the bottom lane. And ZZ Dog will be picking up that kill onto the Karma. 2 for none across both the mid and the bot lane. Ezreal looking to go in onto the Zeri. Zeri using her E just in time to be able to dodge. Ezreal is getting a lot more crits than 20% should be. Meanwhile, we got the belly bop happening onto the Gragas. Gragas is getting hit by the slow. Now using his flash to get away from them. Using his E to dash a little bit more forward away. And will be able to escape. Meanwhile, Ezreal going in onto Zeri. Zeri does get popped. Thanks to the ultimate from the Lulu. Keeping the Ezreal topped off just enough for him to survive. And that will be another kill. Meanwhile, we do have the ultimate going off onto the top lane for the Gragas. But nothing will come of that. And that will be another trade of ultimates, basically. Meanwhile, it looks like red side will be taking down this bottom lane. They are going to try to go in with Ezreal going in. And actually, he's going to be going down to the Karma Q. Oh, no. Karma got a cheeky little kill there. I think that was actually... yeah, Karma got a full 700 bounty shutdown off of that Ezreal because of that. So she will be able to complete her mythic. But Ezreal already has 2.5 items, with one of them, with that half being his last whisper. So Uh, Stop it, Shadow. Urgot uses the flip around onto the Gragas. They don't actually have a tower here. Ezreal uses his ultimate onto the both of them. Urgot goes down to the Graves, and the Diana will be going down to the Kai'Sa, with Ezreal getting an assist for both, or getting an assist for the Diana. Meanwhile, Ezreal is going in onto the Mundo and does pick up that. It's now 3 for none. Meanwhile, we do have bottom lane going on to the Gragas. Gragas does have his E and his ultimate, so he will be able to escape just fine. Does take a little bit of poke, but will be able to leave. Karma's trying to keep the Gragas as poked out as he can, for the dragon is coming up in less than 10 seconds. Gragas goes in, uses his E, but actually misses, but uses his ultimate to go on to the Karma. Karma will be picking up that last little bit from the Zeri. Zeri using her ultimate to go in, but it's going to be taking a little bit too much damage already. Kai'Sa is using her using the Blast Plant. Meanwhile, does get ulted by the Ezreal, and Ezreal does pick up the Zeri for not paying attention. Meanwhile, the blue team does actually steal the dragon. That is huge for them to take away. Now, they are on sole point. 20 minutes into the game, they only have to wait for another 5 minutes. So around 26 minutes, you should be seeing the game being flipped right there to see who's going to be coming out ahead. Now, mind you, blue side is behind by 5,000 gold. A lot of that is on this bottom lane. So, it is on the Urgot and Diana to find a way to get to the Ezreal. If they can actually get the Urgot ultimate onto Ezreal, I think that they can win. Yes, Kai'Sa is still a very scary champion, but you have to take what fights you can, and that's the best thing that you could try to do. The thing is, how do you get the Urgot ultimate onto the Ezreal? This is supposed to be a 5-game set, and I'm already choking. Urgot stealing away the blue from the Diana, but they do actually pick up some gold here on the top side. Ezreal doing a lot of damage onto the Urgot. Urgot's already dropped to about 20% HP. Does actually have to flash away, ghost away from the Ezreal's ultimate. Ezreal does have the Serelda's Grudge. Sorel does. Ezreal charging in onto Zeri. Oh my god, just critted her face off. Kai'Sa having to use her ultimate from the Mundo just to get away from her. Zeri actually having to use her heal as well to make sure she got away from the Ezreal. Ezreal is already a monster if you haven't already seen it. Meanwhile, Gragas actually used his unleashed teleport to try to dissuade the Mundo from going after the Kai'Sa, but they will be picking up the Karma, as Karma was trying to just do some nice due diligence of warding. Urgot gets bopped around thanks to the Gragas back into the enemy team. Meanwhile, Diana walks out. Now Zeri will use her ultimate to try to get back some retaliatory damage. Will be already dropped down to about 35% HP. Does actually hit up the Ezreal with her snipe, but they will be able to walk away with Ezreal at 40%. Now they're looking to go for this Baron buff, probably, or back out. I think they go for the Baron buff here, since they have the plant here to heal up Ezreal above 50. And they will be trying to push this advantage as fast and as hard as they can. They do not have the jungler, so this will be just a flip of damage. Diana going in, does get her ultimate off onto 2, but they will not be able to kill off Lulu or Ezreal. Zeri is still very healthy in this fight, is the only one really looking to still make this fight happen. Ezreal actually goes in onto Zeri, and Zeri goes down to the Kai'Sa's final auto attack. Now Kai'Sa will be charging in onto her and will be taking down the Karma to boot. Now that'll technically be a 5 for none, with Urgot having fallen earlier but is already back up. Now we do have both the support and mid laner going back. Ezreal is the only one realistically for damage here. Graves does have some damage, but is not anywhere near as close to what Ezreal puts out already with 3 items at 24 minutes. Ezreal will help make sure that this is taken, and Graves will smite to secure it. I would like to point out that Ezreal only has 20% crit, and I feel like he's crit 50% of the time at least. I was talking about it in a previous cast about the runes and masteries of old with the glyphs, the seals, the quintessences, and marks. Way back then, the cheese strat was to actually run 1% crit rune. It was so unfair whenever it hits onto a champion. Most of the time, it wouldn't even hit ever. Sometimes it would hit onto a minion, but whenever it hits onto a champion, you just auto-win the lane. I feel like that's still applicable with this Ezreal, considering he's hit so many crits. Also, with the crits, they actually can apply with the Spellblade, so, yeah, that's cool. I like being able to crit on Spellblade. So it could do basically double damage for no fun. Meanwhile, red side does pick up the first dragon and denies the soul for another few minutes. It probably at this point is now too late. If blue side didn't get that soul right then and there, I feel like it's just too late for blue side to pick it up. Now that Ezreal and Kai'Sa will be starting to pick up some AP in Crown, and for Kai'Sa is building her AP items. She will now, as you see, chunk the Kai'Sa down by 50% by hitting her. Meanwhile, Ezreal is using his ultimate, but doesn't actually land onto Zeri, so she will be able to live through that. But with the Hex Tech giving everybody how much? 6% haste and 6% attack speed. It just feels so bad. And I'm getting a call from the CDC National Immunization Hotline. Remember, kids, get your vaccine and your boosters, because you wouldn't want to have your favorite caster die, right? I mean, you want to be the cause of that, not a virus. Oh my god, the ultimate just chunks her, and then the Graves with his ultimate finishes it off. Meanwhile, we have Gragas going in onto Mundo. Mundo uses his ultimate and heals it all back up immediately. We do have the Anathema's chains, but I believe, and he flashes over and lands the Q onto her, and that will be a death for this Gragas. Mundo is your only saving grace, and I feel like that's a problem. Kai'Sa using her ultimate to keep engaged on this Mundo, using that. Now Ezreal will be going on to the Mundo and will be helping make sure that he is taken down. And now the gold lead is a balloon to about 11k, about 11k. So how does blue side win from here? Well, that is a good question, chat. Well, I would first like to start off with that mid lane tower that's at like 10%, probably. 15%. So I think that would be a pretty good start. That gives you a bit of shutdown gold with 250. I believe the 250 is for the outer and 400 is for inner as you progress. I never actually looked at how that works, but I'm pretty sure that's 250 for the outermost, 400 for the innermost. So that would be a good start to just get that bounty over to your team, because you're bleeding gold everywhere. Anathema's is actually really good, and I hope that he used it onto the Ezreal, just to have reduced damage, which he did, which is good. Leandri's on it? Oh, jeez. Well, that's, It's definitely not good. It's just a thing. You would rather go for like crown if you're going for an AP item. Oh wait, Ezreal just decided to die. What? Ezreal actually just ran it there under tower. However, we do have the fight happening here afterwards. Mundo is charging in onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa is doing a lot of damage onto them. Will not be able to live with the Urgot getting both shutdowns onto them. Meanwhile, Lulu is trying to run away from the Urgot. Urgot is looking to get another kill onto himself. Does actually get a triple kill for that, and will now be looking to get a fourth, with that being a quadra kill. Meanwhile, Gragas does teleport back into the base to try to get as much damage as he can left onto this tower. But that's kind of a rundown as well, with him just going for it. Kind of a waste of a teleport, but now the Diana is running back at him. That is a very good fight for the blue side. They needed something to start going right for them, and with that, they swung it back towards them. It's still very favored for red side, but that definitely gave a lot of shutdown money. Unfortunately, however, literally all of that money went to the Urgot. He got the shutdown on Ezreal and the Kai'Sa and the Graves. If I pull this up, he got the Ezreal, which was 400, Kai'Sa, which was 700, and he just cleaned up the Lulu and the Graves. We do have the engagement happening onto the Gragas as well. Again, Urgot already used his ultimate, and they will not be able to finish cleaning it up. Ezreal is still very healthy into this fight. They're looking to try to get this soul before they have to retreat. Kai'Sa is getting a lot of damage onto them. Urgot trying to dodge with his E, but doesn't actually get it off. He doesn't have flash, so he will not be able to get over this wall. This game was going well, and then it turned to a Fiesta real quick. Red side picks up their second Hextech Dragon. Meanwhile, Kai'Sa uses her ultimate onto the Diana and vaporizes her. Now they're looking to pick up their second Baron of the game. Urgot's down bot with Diana dead. You would have to assume that this Baron does go over to red side. And as it's being destroyed immediately, it is very clear that red side does not want to throw this game away, with the Ezreal just running it down once again. Does actually take quite a bit of damage, but misses the last hit of the Q, but takes her down with that ultimate. Now Ezreal's going forward onto the Mundo. Mundo charging back towards them. Does try to heal up as much as he can with the power of his ultimate, and does get up to around 80-75%. Meanwhile, Gragas is keeping the front line very, very safe. They will be taking down that inhibitor tower, and that will be it. Meanwhile, the mid lane inhibitor looks to be coming up soon. We were having a very nice game, and then it turned into a CEAL Classic, 38 kills at 32 minutes. Mundo feels confident walking up, as the only real source of crowd control is this Gragas. As long as he doesn't belly bop ult, the Mundo is just fine. They are all walking as a team as red side. Meanwhile, blue side is trying to collect waves and get as much money and experience as they can. Mundo actually gets belly bopped by the Gragas and will be losing his passive. Meanwhile, Ezreal does land a nice 40% damage onto the Urgot, and they will push them back. Urgot does get hit up by the Kai'Sa W. Kai'Sa is now launching everything she's got. Urgot is dropped down to about 10% HP. Does actually use everything he's got. And Kai'Sa will be going down because she's overstepped her bounds. Now there's the retaliatory damage. Diana uses her ultimate onto everybody. Gragas is falling down quickly to the Zeri. Meanwhile, Karma picked up the Graves. And now that's 3 for none. Because Kai'Sa got a little ahead of herself there. Shadow, I understand it's barely a kill a minute, but like we're getting there, okay? We started with like 5 kills at like 13 minutes, so we got to catch up a little bit, okay? Red side, they're fighting to win this, but blue's not out of this just quite yet. Ezreal and Kai'Sa both making very critical mistakes towards the end of this, trying to go a little bit harder than they probably should. Other members of their team are like, chill the fuck out, guys. It's okay. Also, Shadow, do we have a swear jar? I feel like I'm going to swear a lot in this stream because I don't have anybody to filter me. If not, I may need to fund that. Well, that's not ever going to happen. The day that happens is the day I make it back to Diamond, so... Kaisa does use her W onto the Mundo. Mundo does get hit by the first one. Does actually get hit by the Ezreal slows. The passive doesn't actually stop Mundo from getting slowed. Now ends up using his ultimate to try to survive the Ezreal. We do have a few bits of tools going out. Costco's always open. It's for me. It's Florida. They're always open. Except on Sundays. Because it's a joke. Meanwhile, the Kaisa W does land onto the Zeri and does take her down by about 30%. But she has some lifesteal with that Vamp Scepter. So is able to survive just fine. Meanwhile, the Kaisa gets hit by the W from the Kaisa. Kaisa uses another one to try to land it onto the Karma. And misses, leading to a reduction of damage by about 70%. Meanwhile, Graves is already pinging out the dragon coming up in just a couple of seconds, looking to make sure that they don't let up on that dragon pressure. And the thing is, blue side can't contest it because they're so trapped in their base right now, which is what I said earlier, that if red side ever got ahead, this is basically what the game state turns into. Red side pushes in blue. It's up to red side to not make a mistake, because then blue side can actually, you know, push out a little bit, do something. But with that Baron being down, they can step up a little bit. You know, so the line is just like it's starting to creep into the base, but it passes through the bottom side's gate of where blue is allowed to enter. If they get a kill, then it starts to progress a little bit further. Mundo, however, is dropped very low, so he is not having a great time. Zeri's actually doing quite a lot of damage to this. They actually have to wait for a third Baron in order to take out this final tower. Now, as red side, you're starting to get a little antsy. So you need to have somebody that actually calms you down because, yes, Ezreal's 5 items, he's full build. Zeri still has a lot to complete. So while Ezreal is as full build as he can get, there's a lot left for Zeri to get to. And if she's keeping up at this point, then you start to get a little worried. Meanwhile, Ethereal Image does get caught by the Ezreal. Meanwhile, Diana goes in onto 3. Does get her ultimate off, but gets polymorphed immediately. Meanwhile, Zeri goes onto the Ezreal. Ezreal is going down very quickly. Does get the GA to proc. Meanwhile, Diana is trying to escape with her own life and does survive with the Karma helping her escape. Meanwhile, Mundo is going in on the front line. Does get dropped by the Graves. Meanwhile, it's only Urgot as the front line for the blue side. Graves goes forward in onto 3 and does take out 1, does take out 2, and now it's just the Karma and the Zeri left to survive. Now they will be starting off the Baron. Ezreal will not be having this Baron buff, but that is fine. Meanwhile, Gragas goes onto the Karma. Karma uses her Ignite onto the Gragas, doesn't really see much point into it. Meanwhile, Kaisa does go in onto the Zeri, and Zeri does get dropped with the Kaisa using her Zhonya's to make sure that she stays alive. Does, however, get the final W onto the Karma, and she will be going down. Now they will be having the Graves and the Lulu finishing off this Baron as slowly as possible, with Lulu having to be careful now. She isn't the tankiest of champions. Meanwhile, red side is making sure that there are no mistakes here. They are taking this as slowly and as methodically as possible. Graves will actually be picking up the Baron buff. Gragas getting a little choked up by the minions here. Does get his second E off. Now they're trying to get the kill off and does actually get the final little bit of damage to make sure that Urgot picks up this kill onto the Gragas. No bounty shutdowns happen, but that's fine. That is another Baron buff that is off the table, and it's from the teleporter, which is even more important. Now we do have the dragon not up for another minute and a half, so this posturing around here is just kind of weird to me. They should be having the other 4 move to bot lane. However, we do have both the Diana and the Zeri in the mid lane. They are going to be looking to pick up that that tower in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Mundo getting caught up by both the Kaisa and the Lulu ends up getting taken down, with the final dragon coming up sooner than his death timer will be. You gotta think that this dragon soul is going to be going over to the red side. Zeri has completed her Bork. Ezreal steals the red buff, and they're looking to see if they can get a little bit. She's happening here. They do actually see the Ezreal. So they know that they were there. He keeps showing up every now and again. They don't have much vision otherwise, so they do have to be careful here. Graves has already finished off the dragon, and that will be it for that soul. 11,000 gold difference. Ezreal using his ultimate, and with the Hex Dragon Soul, you got to think it's looking very bad now, if it wasn't already obvious. Urgot does get chunked to about 25% HP, and Ezreal just destroys everything that he looks at. His E chunks Karma by about a quarter, and the W from the Kaisa drops her to the last 10%. This game is looking very close to being over, folks. They're going in with Diana getting her ultimate off, but doesn't get her Zhonya's to finish, and she will be going down with the Gragas, going to be taken down by the Urgot before he falls down. Now Zeri is trying to fight with what damage he can left, but she will be going down, and now it's just a Karma, and Karma will be down, and that will be the first game of this best of 5 going over to Large Rod Gaming on the red side. Alright, so 56 kills in 42 minutes. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a classic. So, I am going to take a quick break while we get set up on the next game. We will be right back, folks. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Game 2 now of the Shurima Finals, Booty Hole Patrol versus Large Rod Gaming. Large Rod has elected to take red side for Game 2, so no side selection changings, but we do have one change. I now have an official co-caster, Sir Mr. Beautiful Idocles.
Howdy. Welcome. Welcome change. I'm sure your mouthfuls are appreciated, but it's difficult work doing both roles.
It's tiring. Being the other one, it's tiring.
We have a bunch of bands. Actually, all the bands in the first round coming through or got locked. Well, they're still hovering, actually. Bands on blue side, Booty Hole Patrol, Fiora, and then both of the scaling ADCs from last game, Kaisa and Ezreal.
Yeah, they don't want to have to deal with another poke comp again.
That was miserable. And Leandri's on Ezreal, too, just to deal with the chunk.
Now we do have Zeri being picked up for the red side with the Nautilus, so we have the more engaged style happening for them this time.
Is Zeri out to be bot, or you think it's solo?
Oh, it's a bot lane. ZZ Dog, he spammed it. 2 days after it came out, he already had 30 games on it.
Okay.
So that is 100% a Zeri bot lane. And we do actually have the Senna being picked up to match the Zeri. Definitely an interesting idea. It's not like Senna is the best counter to Zeri like she is to Callista.
We're still supposed to fast on Senna, right? Even though it's Morgana picked.
You can. Either or is fine, actually. I think that it's still better to fast with
souls.
Yeah, you get more souls with it, so I think it's better. Meanwhile, we do have the Hecarim picked up to match into the Urgot this time around.
With the Malphite ban to follow.
Yeah. So I actually thought that the Malphite ban last game was kind of troll. But that was also blue side was banning it because they had selected Graves, and I thought, okay, well, that's weird. Graves is a top laner, but then they swapped the Graves to jungle.
Vigor ban. Vigor is the most annoying champion on the Rift right now. Just consistently good at all stages of the game, except for maybe the first 3 levels if you're looking for early pressure, early pressure into the enemy jungle. But beyond that,
anybody who plays ARAM understands that Veigar is one of the most oppressive champions to have to play against.
For hyper scaling, or at least very well into game scaling
champions
on the side of Booty Hole Patrol, and I'd say 2.5 ban with the Corky ban coming through. That's how to pick.
Yeah, we have a total of hold up, 3, 4, 5, 6, 80 carry technically bans.
Yeah. Vigor can bot as well. Tryndamere, that has to be top. The Hecarim jungle.
Oh yeah, that's Tryndamere top lane. Blind at this point, unless if he picks something like a Gnar, I think it's pretty fine. I like it.
Tryndamere just runs over top. It's definitely a unique playstyle in dedicated 5v5 kind of competitions, but Tryndamere is really good right now.
Oh, and they pick Ornn into it. I feel like that's kind of a throw with picking the Ornn into Tryndamere.
Yeah, but Tryndamere should be
just
very quickly.
Yeah, Tryndamere just runs over the Ornn, I feel.
It's definitely a Kraken kind of game. There's no cheeky Gale Force or anything, but
oh no, you still go Gale Force, because what is Ornn supposed to do with anything against Tryndamere? Because
well, I'll wait until I get in the game to tell you a cheeky pick, just in case something happens.
So instead, we actually have a Gwen. Oh, so it's a mid lane Tryndamere then.
Oh, okay. Now Gwen does just as well in the Ornn, right?
Gwen actually just kills Ornn.
Yeah, there's no way for Ornn to ever
capture
damage, just short burst and wave clear.
And also with the W from Gwen just ignores Ornn's ultimate. So you don't have good gank set up onto Gwen, you don't have kill pressure onto Gwen, and she just chooses you to die.
Yeah, that's tough. It's okay though. If there's one thing Or can do, it's craft mana and sit under tower. You can even build Fimbulwinter. Like, there's a tier option in that build.
Mm-hmm.
Since Tryndamere isn't going top, there's something you can do with Ornn where you don't buy pots, you buy a cloth armor, and if you get all the CS in the first wave, you can build the Bramble Vest at level 2.
Huh.
That's provided you take Futures Market.
But doesn't Futures Market only activate while you're in base?
No.
Oh.
Unless that's recent in the past, like, 2 weeks or something.
No.
I haven't played in a little bit, unless it's a dedicated change. No.
Nope.
Granted, Gwen still heals a lot, so it might be useful, but it feels really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spending 800 gold into armor that's effectively useless.
Yeah, spending 800 gold on a champion that scales with magic damage.
Yeah, pot tier, wave clear. Just pot tier Cinder and kick it top until you inevitably teleport at 25.
Until you inevitably teleport away from the problem you currently have into a slightly different problem.
Yeah. I'm digging the Urgot jungle though. Did he take flash?
No, he took Ghost.
Okay. Up tempo ganks. I don't know how the 1v1 goes into Hecarim. I assume if it's like who gets the jump on whom, but Urgot with the shield, if you catch that burst damage initially, Hecarim doesn't win before Sheen, before items.
Mm-hmm. I actually like the Tryndamere mid into the Ahri. Like, it kind of sucks for early, but like post level 5, Tryndamere just doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
And then it's up to the Ahri to move the Tryndamere rather than the Tryndamere move, because Tryndamere can just they can then eventually decide to just put Tryndamere in a side lane wherever the Ornn is not, because Ahri's not going to be able to stop him.
Yeah, and Nautilus and Hecarim have a fair amount of CC. Zeri is super mobile, so they have the availability to have a 1-3-1 where the 3-man is just on permanent disengage duty.
And they can even beat a 4-man just to kite away with the Zeri and Hecarim.
Yeah, and Urgot is a fantastic ganker, great clear, good pressure in lanes if they can ghost at you, but they don't really have a lot of hard engages, just the O and R. You know what I mean? Like, they have Ink, they have W from Senna and Morgana Q. Ahri has to expend her ultimate in order to try to make a play. Right?
Yep. In either Charm and or Everfrost.
Yeah, that's still single target. Well, Everfrost, I guess.
Yeah, for the most part, it's usually Everfrost is only used on a single target. So.
Yeah. Cool. I'm excited to see what unfolds. Last game was a slobber knocker.
It started out very slow, and I liked that. And then around that third dragon is where it just evolved.
Dragon is a bait, man. Dragon is a bait.
Well, the thing was, it wasn't until after the dragon fell. Like, the dragon is already dead. Now we fight. It's like, what are you guys doing? Both sides.
Sometimes I just out of position and pull the trigger. But yeah, I feel like going for dragon before like 25 minutes is a bait. Unless you're like Shyvana or something that like Nunu maybe that just basically takes it for free.
Oh, so you're the guy who thinks that like way back in the day a 12-minute dragon was early.
Well, it's changed. I think dragons are strong, but I think 2 dragons barely breaks even with the first Rift Herald, and I think if you prioritize dragons in the early game, you better have drafted early pressure champions in order to secure it. And if you've drafted early pressure champions, why the heck aren't you just making plays on the map? Why aren't you asserting your dominance and then winning the mid game and just getting dragons for free as you kite back? Because they fall pretty easy once you have an item or 2. I just think it's an unnecessary resource that scales well into the late game and should be considered after the 25-minute mark, but the percentage increase doesn't do much for you, with like maybe the first Ocean Drake being the only exception.
Which it just so happened to roll that last game.
Hell yeah. I just still think it's a bait. I think you
And
need
against
more
a
than
poke comp, so like
yeah,
that was like
yeah.
double value for the Ocean Dragon.
Hey, and then turn that on its ear every game. But I just 9 times out of 10, I just feel like this season there's more to be done. There are better things to be done on the map than coin flipping a dragon.
But what if it's coin flipping the soul? Or the third dragon?
Third dragon is
So like
it got
so
5 minutes 15. The earliest the third dragon be is 20, right?
yeah,
If it's
which
on, if it's
they
on spawn.
so last game it was 20 minutes, 21 minutes, and they got the third dragon.
Hmm.
But that's also immediately after the dragon fell is when the game got flipped.
Yeah. About
So
20 to 25 minutes is when you start eyeballing dragons, and that's just from where I sit. So if they've done dragons on spawn, then and you're in a position to fight, like sure, but that call needs to be made when the second dragon falls. Say, hey, we need to fight over the third dragon. What can we do to facilitate? Where are our items at? You know what I mean? If you're not in a ready enough place to fight over it, then third dragon is useless. You could still wait for the soul, and like obviously, everybody's oh, it's the soul. We gotta fight. So like you
Right.
might as well just wait for the fight when you're ready.
we're getting on into this, guys. Game 2, Booty Hole Patrol on the blue side, Large Rod Gaming on the red side. Chat, who do you think is going to win this one? Oh wow, that was a fast load. Pause at 15, so we'll sync up.
Cool. I'm still letting my computer's running a little slow today.
Okay, I am pause at 15. Let me know.
Apologies, I'm still waiting. Worst comes to worst, I'll just catch up to you when we load in.
Well, no, I'm paused at 15, so we can just wait.
Thank you.
It is fine. But yeah, I think it was for last game. It was very critical for them to get the soul fast because they were against a poke comp. So the worst case scenarios was that it was going to be either a hex tech, which it was, or infernal, which would have been the other worst one against a poke comp. And if you can get that away from the poke comp, then it makes it feel a lot better as the game progresses to that 30-40 minute timers.
Yeah, I'm not saying
which they did do correctly. It got out of hand very quickly at that third dragon. And from there it just felt unwinnable to an extent from my side for the blue. But let me know when you're in and we will get going.
Yeah, client is not responding. My instinct is restart. Will I have the chance to reconnect as a spectator?
Yes, you can
Okay.
reconnect either that or you can spectate me. So I'm just going to go ahead and have this get going,
Okay.
and we'll just sync up when you get in.
Thank you.
So we do have the 5-man happening on the red side. Meanwhile, we have, I believe, either... This probably is an invade for the blue side in this pixel bush onto the bot side. Doesn't look like they're actually looking to invade for blue, but they're looking to just make sure that there is no invade from red. Meanwhile, they did have a ward put out in the banana bush behind red, so they know if they're coming in. I apologize. I pick up. Alright, so everything is all good. Going back to their appropriate lanes. Orange taking the long way because they don't know if they actually want to go and take the blue buff. I like that skin for Senna.
The high noons definitely have some great animations, like audio too.
Are you in?
I'm loading in.
Oh, but we have the engage happening onto the bottom side in the pixel bush. Morgana already having to burn her flash with the Nautilus having ignited her. They will be able to disengage with that. but that will be a trade of a flash for an ignite. They do spot out that the Urgot is at the chickens. Meanwhile, Hecarim is doing his Krugs. And it looks like they're not actually doing Fasting Senna. They're letting her farm. So she will have less souls, but more gold.
Yeah, with the Morgana, I would think it's a good old-fashioned ADC Senna. Still at 0%, told you.
Don't worry, guys. I assure you, I have a co-caster.
Yet to be seen.
Meanwhile, top lane did actually get a cheater recall to get a call early. So that'll be interesting to see. After that explosiveness in the pixel bush, or in the tri bush bottom lane, nothing much has really happened for this game. And Shadow, if I'm out of here, then how am I still here? Ornn is going on to the Gwen. Gwen doesn't have a lot of power yet, so Ornn still has a chance to fight her. Meanwhile, we do have Senna using her W onto the Nautilus. Nautilus did nice Q latch onto the Morgana. Oh, we got a flash engage from both bottom laners of the red side. Meanwhile, we have the Senna trying to do what she can to make sure that Morgana lives, but it's too little too late. Zeri picking up first blood. Senna, you're kind of a little far, my guy. But we do have Urgot already here to help make sure that they get the kill onto the Zeri. And Zeri will be going down to the Senna. I should probably zoom out so that way we can see everything, because I did not see Urgot ever showing up there. So Idocles.
Timestamp?
I am at 5:15, 5:16, 17, 18, 19.
Perfect. Perfect.
And we are synced, quote unquote synced.
Awesome.
The thing I don't like about Gwen, why does she get true damage for just using her most common skill for free? That's not fair. We do have the Ghost and Cleanse coming out from the Tryndamere, making sure that Morgana and Urgot does not catch up to him. And then just runs right back to the lane to get hit by a Q.
Well, what are you going to do? Wasting time, Tryndamere specialty.
Oh, but we do have Ornn going on into the top lane. Gwen having to use her ultimate. And does get the clap down with that second hit of the R going on to the Gwen.
6 for both in mid, obviously. Tryndamere favored. Ari's running low on mana. Bot lane's pushing in. Time for a dive, but Hecarim's nowhere to be found. Pressure for Dragon off of the 6 spike as well, but we're not prioritizing it as it ought to be. No. Early Cloud on Hecarim is juicy. But resets coming in lane and top lane. Gwen has a free lane, should shove him up throne with Hecarim applying pressure on the map. We also know buff timers, red side for both champs.
Oh, we got the engage happening onto the Senna with a nice hook for her. Zeri does use her E to go over the wall and tries to do damage onto Senna, but is dodging all these Qs from Zeri very nicely.
The interaction of Zeri and the Senna Shroud actually should favor Zeri, right? It's nice to be able to
Hmm.
auto-attack in bushes and through Shroud.
But she still has to hit it. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Nautilus does get a nice hook, dodging the minions.
top lane
Morgana Q
too.
does hit onto the minion. Meanwhile, Urgot is ghosting onto this bottom lane. They are charging in onto the Nautilus and to the Zeri. Urgot does get the flip around onto the Nautilus. Nautilus is going down to the Zeri. Or sorry, the Nautilus is going down to Morgana. Senna trying to make sure that she doesn't die. Zeri actually can still look for a trade here if she's feeling it herself.
Didn't want two fights happening at once in the top lane. Ornn actually spent everything in his pocket, Flash included, to get the solo kill. Hecarim just
Got another solo kill? Oh.
tad too late, yeah. Gwyn on TP, shamefully waddling back to lane. It's okay though, she'll scale up.
Like, the first one is like, alright, that's on me. Alright, I'm just going to teleport back. The second one is definitely the walk of shame back. It's like, how am I
No
losing?
flash. Or just flash. Hecarim's here for payback. Ulti coming.
Ooh, but nice E from... Or nice use of the W from the Ornn to dodge the E of the Hecarim. But it took too much damage, therefore die.
The math checks out. Look at it mid. Fires
Oh!
the ult. Connects.
Does use the ultimate and dodges out
He still goes down.
from the ultimate, but Ahri does have a little bit more damage to boot and will be taking down this Tryndamere.
That's a fun interaction. Good shot on the side of J Freeze. Very nice. You tell the mastery on the champion shining through.
Yeah, and Tryndamere, despite being taken, using his art to keep himself alive a little bit longer.
It's sad when that doesn't work. The Urgot got positioned very well to where the Tryndamere couldn't really have a good spin away. It does burn the Ariel to make sure that he goes down. First Herald also taken as well as the blue buff as punishment for making the play. Good answers on the side of the map for the mid laner going down.
Yeah, once again, this early game, pretty close for both sides. It'll probably be that second dragon, with both sides actually just ignoring this Cloud Dragon.
Hallelujah.
Like, I get it. Nobody wants to take the Cloud, but you need to take it in order to get to the next one, guys. So, like, when there is an opportunity next, either team should look to get this dragon, just to start getting the next ones going.
Dragon is only a win condition if you elect to take it.
Otherwise, it's just gold at this point. Otherwise,
like 25. Lane's pretty stagnant. Tryndamere's wiggling a little bit, fighting for vision control. Blue side river. Ornn waddles down as well. Gwen's pushing, proxying very, very technically.
But
just hard shoving that lane.
something that I noticed with that engagement that Nautilus tried to do, Morgana is actually being very defensive with her spell shields now, not waiting to see if she can respond. Ornn is getting engaged on by this Gwen on the top lane. Gwen has already used all three of her ultimates, and Ornn's sitting at a comfortable 40% still.
They knew jungle was bot side, so Gwen felt empowered to try and make a play. Chugging him out is also useful, but it's difficult to find the damage to kill him on a tower while he still has ults, because you need to be melee, and if you're aggressing upon him, it's difficult to dodge it.
Have the engage happening onto the Morgana with the ultimate happening onto both. Urgot does go in, but however, Zeri does pick up the first kill with the Morgana going down. Now they're looking to get the next one with the Hecarim, getting the kill onto the Senna after a nice hook onto them. And Zeri barely getting the last bit of damage off onto the Urgot before he gets his ultimate off.
What a crazy play. Both bot laners flashing forward to secure the kill. That's the kind of action we like to see. Hopefully, Ahri, great roam, by the way, defending that tower. Hopefully Blue was able to make up for the pressure. Nope, there's Dragon. Darn it. And so it begins. The first card plucked is the whole house falling. Now it's just going to be Dragon, Dragon, Dragon on spawn. 1640.
And that's fine. because here's the thing. You got the worst dragon as your first dragon.
Not for Hecarim. Hecarim likes it. It's a little treat. Right.
But like overall, Cloud is the worst statistical dragon. and you have guaranteed it cannot be your soul.
Yeah.
That is statistically amazing, because now you actually get a useful dragon. You're probably going to get Hex Dragon just because that's the way how this thing works, right?
I think that's the most powerful, most impactful soul, right?
I think Ocean is the
Static
most.
shift.
I think Ocean is the most impactful because, um, especially when you're not against like a burst comp from either side, like it is so valuable. Morgana does get hit up by the Q of this Nautilus. Does have to flash away because she wasn't reacting quick enough.
Yeah, the Trinity Force on Zeri is no trifling matter. Huge damage on that Q spam.
And like I was
Already
saying,
trading in the mid lane.
and like I was saying about the Morgana's reactions, I don't think that Morgana is a good champion if you're reacting defensively rather than offensively. When you start becoming panicky because you're not reacting to the timing correctly, it starts feeling really bad. Meanwhile, Morgana does use her ultimate to go onto the Zeri, and Zeri just pops her with the ultimate.
Yeah, when you're behind, any engagement is a good engagement for the other side. It was a good route, but...
Hecarim is going on to the Urgot into the top lane. Urgot does take down to 20%, uses Z to dash away. Meanwhile, we do have the engagement onto the Hecarim using his ultimate to secure the kill onto the Urgot, and down he goes.
It's a well-timed ultimate through the charm, making sure the damage comes through. Very, very nice. Trinamere trading. Charmed as he dashes forward, so it's a little bit off. That sustain will be nice, and it maybe presses Q.
And Shadow, if Cloud Dragon had feelings, then it would be a more impactful dragon.
And that...
Now we do have the engagement happening onto the bottom lane. Trinamere just running it in, taking aggro first. Zeri was locked up by the Q, so it's taking a little bit longer than should be. Now Zeri's going to be looking to see... Senna is going to be looking to see. Meanwhile, we do have the ultimate going on to both. Zeri does finish off the tower before they finish off the kills onto both of them. Zeri does have her E to get away from them, but the slows are coming through for both. Senna is getting taken down very low, but Zeri will be able to escape thanks to her E.
Now, I was curious. Dashing early still let her get away. Save the dash.
Now the Hecarim is charging in onto the Urgot. Urgot does get the nice E turnaround, but the Hecarim still had his E to go fight with this. And now they're looking to see if they could get the kill off onto the Urgot. Urgot is using her ghost, but will be going down thanks to the red buff of the Hecarim.
The double sheen coming through on the side of... I'm sorry, Cheats Blaze's team. Red is Large Rod Gaming.
Yeah, red is Large Rod.
Good. Yeah. Tough early power spikes when you have double sheen coming through. There's so much damage. Extra damage. Unexpected damage.
And Zeri is going for the Titanic.
Good dodge.
He reacted.
You're pushing your buttons. Top lane.
You push...
Crashes a wave.
You push the correct buttons in the correct order.
Man, so much auto attack speed.
Morgana does land a nice binding onto the Nautilus, but nothing really to come out of it. Trinamere feeling very safe with... out his ultimate, actually. His ultimate's still down for a few seconds. But they do go in onto the Morgana. Morgana uses her spell shield to make sure that the knockup doesn't come through, and she will be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have the Gwen using her ghost. Does actually dodge the second R from the Gwen, but Gwen's true damage just doesn't care. Will be able to blow up the Ornn from about 30% HP.
Yeah, and 2 early kills means a lot, but ultimately not enough. Once that Riftmaker comes through, Ghost and ulti pop, there's no escape. Very difficult to lane against that champion into the mid game for Ornn.
So, I do like this. Ornn actually went for the Anathema's Chains.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be dropping that onto this Gwen, so that way she doesn't do damage. Probably.
Right.
Either the Gwen or the Zeri. I think the Gwen would be more beneficial.
Oh.
We do have the Rift Herald going down.
Wait, who got it?
I think
Hecarim
the Reds... I think Hecarim got it. So now we have the engagement happening. Gwen does pick up the Rift Herald, but Zeri picks up the Morgana. Urgot uses his E to try to get away, but then we have the flash coming in from the Zeri. Zeri is going to be dropping very low, but however, she does have her E to go off. Now they're going to be having the Ari going over the wall with the Ornn picking up the Zeri, and that will be another kill. 3 for 1, or 3 for 2, sorry.
So much action over the tail end of the Rift Herald, which Large Rod gets away with. Holy moly. This is fun. This is a fun series.
Yeah, Large Rod did pick up the Herald, but at the same time, you're losing a lot of gold to shutdowns. Meanwhile, Ornn is going onto the Tryndamere. Tryndamere just realized he is in danger. He may actually have to ult here, and he does. Ornn doesn't have another charge off his ultimate or his
Ghost and ult.
E, and will be able to escape. Now actually using the Ghost. Gwen on the other side is looking to pick up this Dragon with the smite from the Hecarim coming up in top shit.
1640 was spawn, so the Dragon lasted a minute. Yeah, they're just being taken just about on spawn. And you were right. Hex Gates activate. Static Shiv with the Storm Razor proc as a soul is fun.
So I understand that Hex Dragon and at the time Chemtech was increased in popularity, so that way people could experience it more. It feels like it's still that case. Meanwhile, we have a lot of bindings coming out and charms from both the Ahri, the Morgana, and the Senna. However, we have the teleport coming in from the Gwen. Hecarim picks up the jungler, and Gwen and Tryndamere will come in to clean up house. Gwen will use her ultimate. She needs to get an auto attack off in order to get the ultimate to go through, but she will not be able to get it, and that will be an escape from the Ahri.
Do we have the Herald still? Is it already?
Yeah, that is the Herald now dropped.
Right now. That might be 2 more towers. It's definitely another charge. I think it's both towers.
Yeah, you just take the tower and then you back off. You don't take the inhibitor.
Yeah. And the next time you can take an inhibitor, you take both of them. And then reset. Well, farm, reset, and then Baron. We shall see.
That was
the opening of the mid lane.
Now that was second rift, so that is it for these quick destructions of towers.
Yeah, and there's the yeah, they lost a lot of gold and some shutdowns, but the second rift let them take effectively 3 towers. That's
Ooh,
crazy.
Nautilus a little caught out here, but he does dodge out of everything.
Oh my lord, dancing in the river.
Oh, Zeri. Oh no, Senna's about to be ganked by this Tryndamere. Tryndamere's holding his breath. Shh. Shh. I'm hunting 80 carries. She feels that something's wrong, but doesn't know where. But now that he sees
the collapsing bot.
But he does see at least one now. But he actually just chose to ignore the ward, and now the Senna is slowing him down as much as he can. Does get the snare. Now the Gale Force. And will be escaping. Pretty good job. Pretty good escape from him. But meanwhile, Ornn does actually take 1 tower from top lane. We do see a lot of engagement happening onto her. Meanwhile, the Gwen is getting dropped to about half. She does have the ultimate, but is trying to bait her team so that way they make sure nobody dies except this Ornn.
We see blue side slowly responding, but it seems like Ornn is
very much dead. Ornn is very much dead here. Doesn't even land his ultimate, so just feels bad.
Just tip of the cap.
Yeah,
just way. Died for the tower ultimately, and the objective downing.
But that's fine. It's not fine because you're losing time of gaining experience, which is very vital for the Ornn. But you got the tower, which allows you to get more gold for your team, so it's a little bit more valuable. Meanwhile, Zeri's trying to damage this Urgot. Urgot does get the flip, but Morgana doesn't use her Q correctly. Ahri does use her charm onto them. Meanwhile, Hecarim pushes back the Urgot. We do get another binding onto this Hecarim. And now we have the engagement happening with this Gwen using her ultimate. We do have another binding onto the Zeri, but Zeri uses her cleanse and will be able to escape with the TP coming in with the Ornn. Ornn does not have his ultimate, but they will be chasing with the flash coming in for the Ornn. Ornn does get the W off onto the Zeri and will be going down. Does not get the knock up onto the Gwen. Gwen will be able to wait until her team arrives, but will be caught by this Ornn. Meanwhile, Tryndamere onto the base into this to take down the Ahri. Orn tries to E away, but actually gets pumped back. Thank you,
Push the
Riot
wave,
Games.
baby. Push the wave. Don't be greedy, boy. You're not gonna get there in time. Push the wave. Oh, come on now. That's okay. We didn't want an inhibitor anyways by that call. Just farm.
Yeah, so you could actually see Orn a little bit frustrated there. If you didn't notice, he used his E to push himself away from the Hecarim, but the timing of Hecarim's E put him back to where he was before.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that reaction happens every now and again, and it feels so bad, but that's the way Riot coded it. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Riot's coding department, that has not changed since Season 2, with Jace being one of the first champions I noticed seeing that happen.
What, like his
Hammer form.
Q?
Yeah, so with Poppy's charge, he would be able to knock her back, and while he could get hit up to a wall, it would put the Poppy back to where she started her charge.
Oh, so he would hit her away is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so like
Okay.
it would create like this large distance between the two champions.
Gotcha. Yeah, the input buffering is a nuanced art, and until you just accept that this is what the interaction is, it always feels like bullshit.
It always feels awful.
Like
If you've played this
sound
game long
created
enough,
outside of the marker.
yep, like we've all, like after a while, everybody experiences it. Everybody
Yeah.
calls bullshit on it. Even the people that do it call bullshit.
this
But
is how the game
but
is.
this is just how it's coded.
Yeah.
Thank you, Riot. You're literally the only company that has that in there.
Well, it's like learning to speak minion. You know what I mean? I still get minion blocked, and I play this game for how
Even
many years?
though you can't block minions can block you. They actually had to code that in. Okay, so we have a little bit of a lull. Quick history lesson for those of you who don't know. Minion block used to go both ways.
Ooh.
Freeze in season 5 or 6 actually exploited it back on Renegades in a match where he blocked minions from getting to the wave, thereby putting the opponent's wave closer to their tower and thereby relieving opportunities for them to actually push advantages. Because of that, the very next patch, Riot decided, you know what, champions can't block minions anymore.
You can still aggro the first wave if they let you, and have them de-aggro on you. Ooh.
Oh, but Ornn actually does try to stop the, he did actually do a pretty neat interaction onto the Tryndamere. Tryndamere actually does got it. Now they're going to try and go onto the Zeri. Zeri does go down! Meanwhile, Hecarim is charging onto everybody and everything. Urgot is down onto the bottom lane, and that'll be a 3-for-2 trade with both the mid and bottom lane on the red side going down.
But Ornn, the hero of
Ornn
any kind of
had no reason to live as long as he did.
He's lived for so long, and he turned it to where they like can't just push for free. That was really good. The Tryndamere had to force the ult out, and then Ahri could get a sneaky charm on the Zarya she hopped. That was very well done.
But something that I noticed, Ornn has not upgraded anybody else's mythics yet. And we are now 25 minutes in.
What level is he? Wait.
He's at least 14. He's only 14. He's
Okay.
been 14 for the last like 5 minutes because he had that before the last dragon was taken.
Yeah, these are You need to right click somebody, buddy.
Well, he needs to get experience. Like he needs to stop dying.
Just did it. He just did it. Worm Fallen Sacrifice.
Okay.
Red pings there. He says, "Red buff, please." You know, I must admit, I forget to use the hex tech.
The hex tech what?
The little gates.
Oh. That's fine. Oh no.
What happened?
Ornn went for the Fimbulwinter item now. He has 24 stacks on his tier.
Oh, yeah, tier before.
That is going to take so long? I would actually like to bet. Hey, chat. I would like to bet. Who thinks that he's actually going to finish this item before the game ends?
Now, autoing things does proc it.
Autoing things does proc it, but I would like to bet that he doesn't finish it into
tough.
Fimbulwinter before the game ends. I would like to bet that. I will bet one free sub.
What are the odds? What are the over-under?
That he will not complete it before the game is done.
Just game end, not like 40 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, just game ends.
Dang. Somebody take that bet. That's a good bet.
Somebody should take that bet. Somebody should 100% take that bet.
Last
Shadow
game
takes
was
that
so
bet?
long.
Alright. Shadow, I will give you a free sub if he actually finishes the item before the game ends. Not buys it. I want to point that out. He can buy it for like 3,000 gold, but he has to stack it. He has to stack the item.
Wait, you can buy an upgrade? I didn't know.
Yeah, you can buy it for like 3,000 gold.
Oh, well, I guess. If you like overcap max 49-minute game.
Yeah, and you just feel like changing your items, whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, flash into the
Flash with the Nautilus
Looks like
going
it
in.
is.
Orin uses his ultimate too. We have a nice knock-up from both sides. We do have the Orin going in. However, Morgana's trying to make sure that the Senna doesn't go down. Orin does go down to the Gwen and the Zeri combo. Meanwhile, Zeri is poking out both the Morgana and then doesn't actually get over the wall with her E. 360 is the count.
Dang, that last
Also,
Morgana Q.
That last Morgana Q, I think, just saved their team there. Like
So much damage too on the Hecarim. And Dragon goes down. That's one of the things that you like have to try to force a fight over Soul, I guess. Kind of like force your hand.
Yeah,
before the
like
actual objective.
you're already so far down. Like you have to try to flip something. To be fair, that wasn't actually a bad flip.
No.
It actually went better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
You only had one person die, being your Ornn. You kind of take those, I think.
Yeah, and it's like worth.
Like
risk.
worth.
I don't know.
Like with
It's definitely
quotes.
a thing you look back at and like see, yeah, you like see how you set up as a team. Those kind of fights, the ones that you learn from on both sides. Like Baron being started, all blues onto it. Booty Hole Patrol is waddling northward towards the purple worm. I don't think that they get there.
I think they just have that. Meanwhile, Tryndamere is on the back line with Ornn using his ultimate onto 3. He does get the first kill onto the Hecarim. Meanwhile, Gwen is doing a lot of damage onto their frontline units. Tryndamere is on the back taking care of the Ahri and does join up with the Gwen. They do take down 1. They take down 2. Is there going to be more? We do have 3 on both sides still remaining. Gwen's doing a lot of damage onto all of them. Gwen does they do take down 2 with Tryndamere getting both of them. Is this going to be a 5-man wipe? Gwen charging in onto this Ornn. Ornn trying to survive with what he can, but he is slowed, and down he goes to this Gwen.
The healing is absolutely atrocious from the side of Cheese Blaze. Just a ridiculous Riftmaker fully stacked, Conqueror off the charts. I think that they're going to try to force at least towers.
Mm-hmm. I think they try to end it here. Like, it's 10 seconds for Urgot, 5 for Ahri.
And their auto attackers are.
Alright, Shadow. So, how's that sub coming along?
Dang, 117. No.
He wasn't even a third of the way done. Like, that was such an egregious purchase for like 2,600 gold.
If he stacked the tier early, I'm super down to buy.
Yeah, like if he got it back when he got the Bammies or when he had the Anathemas completed, I think it's fine. But he took so long to get that.
Especially when you get 2 kills early, I think the play is just tier 1 boots, Cinder, and a tier just to wait clear for a million years.
All right, we're going to take a quick intermission. We will be right back after I get some water. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are now going into Game 3 of this Best of 5 series between Large Rod Gaming and Booty Hole Patrol. Large Rod Gaming took a commanding lead in Game 2 after a very sloppy Game 1, so they'll be looking for this to be a clean 3-0 sweep.
Van's already coming through. Yes,
Idocles,
sir.
what do you believe needs to change for Booty Hole to start winning in these games here?
From what I'm seeing, falling behind a little bit and happy to take every engagement on the map. Once there's a lapse in gold, you have to be reserved. You have to be on defense. There's push and pull, right? Twee and law, wax and wane. If you're behind, if they're pushing, you have to absorb their aggression. You can't meet them on the battlefield every single time. You have to be willing to give and trade. And if there's a way to come back.
So what you're saying is this is not the Noxian or the Ionian division. We need to be better than them.
Well, there just needs to be a little bit of an exhale. If they're taking an objective, push and farm. That's all. Just take a break. And also, dragons are a bait.
Yeah, I think they were doing very good in Game 1 where they were taking command early for their for the dragons, but then Game 2 they were kind of flipping a lot of fights, and Large Rod Gaming was just coming out on top.
Mm-hmm. Also, the Hecarim was monstrous.
Oh,
That's why they banned it. It was gross.
they were not having.
Damage, yeah.
Yes, and as we see, we do actually have both sides are swapping this time around. Booty Hole did have side selection in this one, so they decided to select red side.
Renata. Don't you wanna Renata?
That's. I mean, everybody's picking it now in pro play, so everybody's just like, it doesn't matter at this point. Like, ordinarily, I would think you would want to pick Renata when it's like a lot of 80 carries or something. The Lulu suggests that you're going to have a hyper carry, which understandable. So if you can get a really good Renata ult onto their 80 carry, that can be disastrous. But they don't have Zeri, so and they took away the Jinx. Caitlyn's banned. Kai'Sa's banned.
Banaphilios.
Vayne. Really the only other like quality S tier 80 carry left is like Aphelios. After that, it's like A tier in champions like Jhin, Misfortune.
You can also just pick something that trounces Jinx in lane. You can just go for, I don't know, Draven or Lucian or something that just like wants to fight early. But
Yeah.
Lulu makes it tough.
Twitch, AP Twitch, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry about that. I had a sneeze. It's a sneezer.
I'm interested to see just what ADC
What?
comes through.
Like, it has to be Aphelios, right? But
I think so.
what if they don't play Aphelios? Then what would it be? Kog'Maw. Alright, that's a throwback. Alright,
That's good.
that's good. I can dig it.
Lulu is a very, very strong lane.
But it's
Especially
very
if you put
susceptible
something
to...
too early.
But it's very susceptible because while as that kind of an AD carry you would like to have Gale Force so you don't get caught, you as Kog'Maw are not allowed to build Gale Force.
Jinx Renata has no gank assistance. Like, all they have to
Renata-
do is just leave
Renata's
the tower line.
Renata's really good for ganks.
Not against the Kog'Maw, who's a screen away.
So you sacrifice your body to make the play happen.
I don't know how you get in range of Kog'Maw's Renata. From aggressive.
So
play.
there's the skill shot where you tag onto the Kog'Maw.
That's so low range.
That's throwing your body to make the play work.
I'll be interested to see if they can make an aggressive play. Now, Trundle Pillar, that can murder a Kog'Maw. But
Yeah, and it's probably going to be the Glacial Augment Trundle, so
fun.
yeah, that's always fun.
Large Rod has a lot more engage this time too. Like it. Echo Bubble on the side of Booty Hole, and Victor.
Oh, so we're just scaling. Okay.
Yeah, we're just scaling and letting them come to us from the side of Booty Hole Patrol. and a
Okay.
large rod, just throwing their bodies, yordle and otherwise, at the enemy.
Yep. It's like we will
Okay,
throw
cool.
ourselves to make the play work.
Hmm.
Oh, well, at least we don't have a Swain in this setup, so they can't literally throw themselves at the play.
Yeah, I think if they wanted to be more aggressive in lane, Swain instead of Renato would have been good, or
Yeah,
at
but
least,
then that would be a throwback to seasons past.
yeah. But Jinx and Trundle with Renato W is really scary. Trundle is freakish if he gets on you in his domain. Quick potty break.
Yep. Quick pee pee
Can we
poo poo break.
start it though? Is it Cheese Blaze? Who needs to go to the
It's
bathroom?
probably it is probably either cheese blaze or no, it would be just relish since it's red side that's saying that somebody went to the bathroom. So
Mm, I feel like we can just start it without him and get through bands
well, we cannot be if it's just
if
relish.
it's relish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, patience, I suppose.
All right. So
Dragons are a bait, by the way. Spectre, Shadow. I'll stand by
so
it.
while we have a moment, I'm going to go ahead and actually put us in the intermissions, since we have several minutes before we can even get going. So we will be right back, folks.
See you soon.
And welcome back from poo poo and pee pee time. So we do have Large Rod on the blue side this game, as we mentioned before. They are taking a commanding 2-0 lead in this best of 5. I definitely would like for it to be a quick 3-0. Despite the booty holes protests from the red side.
Boo! You ain't having fun.
I'm having
Cast.
I'm having fun. It's not like it's explosive, but people aren't dying. So, as much.
Death, the only thing that matters. Kills, deaths. Boo. Clean gameplay.
Clean-ish gameplay. Like, I want it to be a Seal Classic, not a Seal Fiesta.
You just said the same thing twice.
No, a Seal Classic is when there's 1 death per minute. A Seal Fiesta is when it's 1.5 or above.
Well, hopefully
We're at classic
Underrated.
territory.
BHP needs to keep the kills low, especially for like the first 25 minutes. Kog'Maw, Victor, Echo with a Lulu empowering. Mundo falls flat, plateaus at about 3.5 items. After that, you're just trying to hang on.
Yeah.
With the sight of scaling Jinx, but
Because the fact that they
everybody
haven't...
else loves time. And if they can lose with grace for the first 25 minutes.
Yeah, because Trundle just makes Mundo a moot point. So that's going to be a problem for them later. For Mundo, not for Trundle. Trundle enjoys having a lot of health. But yeah, I feel like it's going to go and be a very, very strong early game from blue side again. Somebody, ZZ Dog, is going to make another mistake.
No.
And we're going to have to flip either a dragon or a baron. Because this is do or die time for the red side. If you have anything that you want to show for this is quite literally the time to do it.
Victor and Mundo get shoved early. So Echo if Echo wants to be aggressive, depending on the rune choice. Dark Harvest is standard, but I think you can have a couple of other runes depending on how you want to itemize. Kog'Maw and Lulu is actually able to shove in Jinx Renata if they're spamming abilities, which why not? So Echo playing around the Kog'Maw Lulu, diving, taking advantage of the bot lane, I think is how they get ahead early if they want to force the issue. But in order to set up plays, you need to be pushing, and if any sums are down on the side of Cog Lulu, it's very difficult to escape from a Trundle. So I think that's eyes on the bot lane in this game to determine how the rest of the game goes, biased by the first 10 minutes.
Alright, we are getting into this. Chat, who do you think is going to win? Large Rod Gaming on the blue side, taking the 3-0, or Booty Hole Patrol? Are they sending it to game 4?
I hope game 4. Just because it's fun to watch these two teams go at it. But we'll see. I'm in the game 5, 6.
Just pause it at 15.
Cool.
Mine did not pause. I'm at 17.
I'm taking 20 right now.
You're at 20? Okay. So, pause at 20 and we'll go from there, okay?
Sure.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
Sure. So, standard breakout from both sides. Although, admittedly, blue is stacking a little bit of my jungle. Trying to do control shift. Control shift Z lets me zoom out. There it is.
Yep.
It's my favorite
That
spectator
I'm
feature.
glad that they actually implemented this a while back.
Top lane just staring at each other.
Shadow, for BVA to win, they would actually have to exist still. They exist in the heart, but not on the screen.
I think I still might be in that Discord.
I wanted to be in on that team, but they decided no. I'm too good. I'm too good for them.
Too good. I don't think anybody's too good for Bronze 5 age. All are welcome.
Yeah, as soon as I requested to try to join their team, they disbanded. They're like, we can't have it. We can't have this. We can't have
There's
this.
only Bronze 4 age.
There will always be a Bronze 5 age. It was of an age long past.
Mundo's doing the old aggro the minions technique. Wants to receive the pressure, letting them push in. Vex just has more early pressure, but trades with the Q go in favor of Jesse.
And Jesse actually went first strike, so he'll be able to cash in some very nice money.
Yeah. Again, I'm still interested in the bot lane matchup. I don't. It's really just how it's played. I think it's 60-40. Cog Lulu should win the first 4 levels, but we'll see what happens. Trundle's actually chose a 3 camp. Was looking for an early gank. Echo, meanwhile, was full clearing, so there will be more pressure on blue side, on Large Rod Gaming side, before the scuttle spawn.
Trundle will only be 2 still, so it's not like
3 camp is 3.
he's oh he is, oh wait, what? Okay. I don't know how jungle.
Buff Grump.
I just don't know how jungle works. I guess I'm just too boomer to know this anymore.
That's the fastest clear. You can do 2 camp, 2 buff, 2 camp, and that's usually pretty good because then you can leech some XP. Something's happened to this red buff.
Yeah, the Trundle is already in here. Vex is already in onto this Echo. Echo's going to get his W off, and then the Trundle is going in onto them. Meanwhile, the Orange is already roamed down. We do have the flash coming out from both junglers. The Trundle does finish it off with the final kill with the press of the attack. Now Orin is getting his knock up onto the Victor, and Vex finishes it off with the last auto attack.
Killing a mid, killing a jungle, and red buff going down for pretty much nothing except for a couple cleavers to the face of Cheese Blaze in return. We'll see what happens. No flash. This actually might be a return kill. Cheese Blaze walking up. Flash over the pillar to secure the kill. Relish coming through.
Yeah, Relish does get the kill, but Trundle might be going and hitting him as well.
No pillar. No
Meanwhile, we have a fight going down onto the bottom lane. Kog'Maw getting the last auto onto the Jinx. Now is returning the damage off onto the Renata. Renata is flashing off and getting a double kill for him.
Huge. No, don't be over aggressive. You've established your laning phase. Now go up 40 CS and don't get another kill. Just hang out. You should shove that wave, by the way. You gotta push that under tower. You gotta push that under tower. You just.
What server do you think this is? We're fighting in literally another 30 seconds.
But you can buy a call and you can kick it, and you can well that's fine. Zerkers are a great purchase actually. How much extra gold did he have?
Or we can buy a call and fight in the next 30 seconds.
It's call and combat stats. But Zerker's first is great on that champion. I assume that they're maxing W. Let me see how many points. You usually want to put a couple points in Q. Oh, we're only level 3. Put a couple points in Q. It's a secret. That lets you have a little more lane pressure. Since you maxed Q first, you have a little bit more power to it. It's worth trading with it. Worth the mana expenditure. And W scales up with how much attack speed you have. So by the time...
But also...
just 2 points.
So also with the W, you actually get a little bit more range as you're maxing it. So it's kind of nice.
Lethal Tempo covers that weakness, I think. I just think it's stronger in lane, and it's preference. It's not A or B. It's whatever you prefer. Trades happening topside. Cheese Blaze just wandering around.
Yeah, we saw earlier how Mundo just ignores tanks.
Q? Cleaver? No, choosing not to throw. It's fine. Now we know flashes are down for some time, so I'm just going to call him core. Trundle's investigating opportunities in the mid lane.
Yeah, he's really not that great at actually ganking. He's good at counter ganking.
Counter ganking, or if they're too far up, right?
Meanwhile, Echo just kind of shows himself bottom lane to be like, hey, you know, I'm here. We're all good. We're all chill. Okay? Cool. We're chill.
Baby wanders down, making sure that nothing bad is happening. Call is dragging at 6 minutes. It's a bait. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
It's a hex.
It's just a waste of time. Oh, ulti coming out. I think it hits, but we choose not to go in. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, Echo being there to stop that is fine, because it just delays it.
And just like that, we wasted 30 seconds and got 2 words for it. I'm crying on the inside as well as on the outside.
Wah.
Big trade. Uh-oh. Ulti comes through, though. You gotta... Oh, no.
Ornn does have
Already...
his ultimate, but it's too little too late. Mundo is just going to clobber him to death. We don't clap here. We send them a lawsuit.
Yeah, with like a slurp at the end of it, just because it's Mundo. Looking at the CS differential.
Oh, we do have the Renata using her E to pull back the Lulu, dropping her to about 10% HP.
Bot lane is down a fair amount of CS. I wonder, while we were watching...
I would assume it's the E.
Wait, what?
The pull thing. The pull thing. Oh no, it's the Q. The Q is... Yeah. Meanwhile, Kog'Maw is going in onto the bottom lane. Echo is behind them to make sure nothing bad happens. They do already pick up the first one with the Jinx going down.
Yeah, and the kills make up for the lack of CS. Down 24 means nothing when you're up 3 kills and about to get a tower plate. I presume no dragon to take. We've fought so much over the dragon. We're not going for it.
And something funny I actually just realized. So Renata, there's 2 reasons for picking it, for the ultimate and for that revive ability. To be able to find a way to get your AD carry to not die without having to expend gold for a GA is actually high value.
Oh yeah, it's impossibly efficient. I don't even know what the gold assigned to it is when Samira can tumble in and get her ult off, because it's stupid, honestly. Skirmishing over the Herald top. Baby roaming up.
Trundle taking a lot of damage, is not 6 yet, but they can actually go in. Vex uses his ultimate and does land onto the Echo, and Echo is blown up immediately. Vex does land her ultimate again onto the Victor, flashes over to make sure that she doesn't get stunned up by this by the gravity field, and does a bit of damage, but will not be taking him down.
Yeah, if that middle Q hit, there might have been enough damage there. That said, shoving in for plates and gold and rotating a dragon with a bot lane who has their wave pushed, pretty efficient use of your time as well. Yes. Leave it. You don't need it. Go to the dragon, make a different play. Make a play and rotate. Make a play and rotate. So we're going to get 2 plates. That way we get 100 extra gold. No, you greedy monkeys.
I think they actually get mid tower. I think they actually unironically get mid tower.
If they get
Meanwhile, we have fights happening in all 3 lanes. Ornn does, or bot lane does go and take down the Jinx. Meanwhile, Ornn does get the trade kill off onto the Mundo top lane, very close to going down himself, and mid lane does survive with 2 plates left up for them there.
I still feel like you summon the Herald, call your bot lane up because they just shoved it in and get dragon. At the very least, you're already rotating bot lane to capitalize on the overextending 2v4 that's brewing if you rotate. I just feel like making plays with the team is better than greeting for 80 gold each.
But power.
But the gold.
But gold.
It's right here.
But money. But there's money right here. Why would I go to another place to get money when there's money right here?
It's literally right here. And it's purple and it's hitting a tower. Still no dragon, 10 minutes, love to see it. We only waffled once, control it over the wall. Easy enough.
It's not a bad valued first Drake, guys. It's a Hex Dragon. It gives you attack speed, which everybody on your full damage carries need, and ability haste to help everybody else. It's a good dragon still. Just get it!
It's it's always going to be there. Uh-oh, bot lane's running it. Rooted.
We do get a slow onto the Lulu, but the Chompers does stop the Kog'Maw from chasing down the Jinx, and she will be able to escape without getting her flash used.
Oh, Mundo's doing Mundo things. Goes where he pleases.
Yep, he actually chose to ignore the fact that he was tanking tower without minions nearby, just to get his empowerment off. Meanwhile, Vex goes on to the Victor. Victor gets rooted with the Everfrost, but exhaust coming out as well.
Flash and exhaust. Yeesh. That's a good use of ult on Baby's part.
Echo is on this bottom lane here onto the Jinx. Jinx having to flash. And meanwhile, Echo blinks over to the Lulu thanks to the Renata ultimate. Ornn getting a bit of damage onto the top lane. Ornn actually could probably look for the kill, but he doesn't have his ultimate, so refrained. We're okay. Meanwhile, we kind of skipped over it. Trundle did take that dragon.
Yeah.
It is now going to be an ocean dragon, and I think that this is now going to be an earth soul.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we do have the engagement happening onto the top lane. Trundle using his ultimate to match the Mundo, and Mundo will be going down to this Trundle.
Very well done. Good tanking. Perfect tower shot counting. Don't take this one. Oh! I don't know if we were watching that, but
we were not watching that one.
One team away from taking tower and dying.
we were not watching that one. We ignored that one because Vex was taking damage in mid lane.
In chat, what's the soul gonna be? You got 3 options, right?
Yep. I know it's a joke, but like I actually on stream had a 100% prediction rate when it was just 2 dragons. Because you could actually tell based off of the terrain. You can't anymore.
Double 2-man stunned. Echo still has ultimate immediately popping the Jinx. So much damage coming through.
Actually did get this double stun, as you said. Very good job from the Echo there.
Yeah. When you hit the bubble, the carries go pop. You know what I mean?
And like you were wanting, Echo is putting a lot of priority to help make sure that this bottom lane does get going.
4-0. Good start. Hopefully Fozzie Bear can do some work in the mid game to bail out mid lane, especially.
Yeah, the Victor is not having a good time.
What, 57 total? Wait, he's up on gold? Question mark? First strike?
Yeah, first strike.
No. He's down. He just has 1,700 unspent. Okay, I was like, no way.
It's like, yes, it's 1,700 to 300 gold. Gosh.
I was adding them up total.
Meanwhile, we do have the engagement coming in with the Ornn getting his ultimate off and clapping Mundo. This is how it is done.
Uh-oh. Freefs. Can't spell Freefs without free, and that's a juicy shutdown. Alright, looks like I'm taking over the reins for both roles in just a minute. Engagement in the bot lane. See, hopefully the camera is following. Big Lulu coming through. Fozzie Bear, nope. Trundle still gets the kill. Teleport coming in a little bit tardy to the party. Maybe
Mundo has TP'd into the fight, and we do have ZZ Dog going down to the Renata ultimate. And this will be a very quick.
As Trundle chomped his way to victory. Maybe with a huge Q coming through.
I apologize.
Wave, but not far off. Echo. Preemptive bubble. Both zoned off by the pillar. And retreat as mid laner's out of mana.
I am back. I have returned.
Yay. Missed a fun fight. I don't really know, honestly, events leading up to four-man bot, but it was a wild ride. Holy moly. Wards on the Rift Herald. Cheese Blaze is starting it, knowing that the majority of Booty Hole Patrol is nowhere to be found. That said, Echo's making his way through the mid lane. Out of vision and the minion season. The beeline. I don't think you get this without the eye being up, but having
the eye is going to be coming up. The eye is going to be coming up, maybe? Nope.
It doesn't. I don't know the number, but if it's low enough, it doesn't respawn, so you have to actually
Ornn does use his ultimate to go in onto this. Echo does get clapped, but he will be able to get his ultimate off, and the ZZ Dog does pick up the kill onto the Echo with his ultimate.
Down.
From downtown. Meanwhile, the Jinx is going in onto the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw ended up having to use his heal to escape from certain death.
For all the kills, it's still tough to be a Void Puppy left alone in the bot lane. Shout out to my boy Vance in the chat for all the work he does alone when I'm roaming on a bard. And other miscellaneous supports. Oh, ultimate coming in. Fear, no chance. Baby's on the kill.
Oh, and then we do have the Jinx landing her zap onto the Jinx, or onto the Kog'Maw, and that will be a kill for Renata onto this Kog'Maw. The directed camera literally cannot keep up as there is stuff happening everywhere. It's actually spasming at this point.
Echo catching away bot. Let's look at the items. Got proto belt, stopwatch, ticking, looking for a play. More people bot. Cannon gets zapped. Just a standard wave clear procedure mid. Cheese Blaze looking for a little bit of something. Top lane.
Oh, Victor's going in with the flash and does get his ultimate off and will be getting the solo kill onto Vex.